Good afternoon. This is Dr. Bill White again with the American Orthodontic Society, and I would like to talk to you a little bit this afternoon about reverse tip. And a lot of people don't really know how to use this, but it's very helpful in bringing in very, very crowded cases, regardless of how they are. If you have to bring in a crowded, bring the teeth in with a crowded case like this, it's good to take the tips of the roots and move them apart so you can get the crown of whatever tooth you're trying to get in between them and go down a ways, and you can be expanding at the crown part and put this reverse tip in the teeth, the ones distal to it. You'd put a lot of tip in them, be more tip than you'd want, and then reverse tip in the tooth in the mesial, and that opens the gap, and then you can let the crown drop in there and bring it on down a ways and continue to expand it. And as you expand it, it tends to bring the roots back together again, back up the top. So you can kind of watch a little bit of this in this video, and it may help you in figuring out how to deal with these crowded, dished in or concave facial profiles. And this young lady has one, and she has several other problems too, like she's a tongue thruster and an infantile swallow pattern, and she sucks the lower lip back and has pulled the lower anterior teeth way back. And well, let me get here and show you some of that, and you can remember it better probably if you see it. It's a nice little young lady, and you can look at this, and she looks like she's got a kind of a reverse chin that's not grown out far enough, not pulled out there, and the lip is tucked in underneath that. And let's look at the facial structure from the start. It's this. She doesn't keep the mouth open a lot, or she'd have more of a vertical dimension in the face in here, and that's pretty good, really. But she has several other functional problems that we can show you as we go along here. Sorry for this picture, but this was made years ago, and when you got them back and you messed up the focus, you had to use them because you couldn't get another one then. So anyway, now when I look at her cephalometrics, and she was aged 7 and 10 months, and this was 1987, looks like, here when we're looking at it, and you see the upper front teeth are out here, and the lower front teeth are back here, and they're straight up and down, showing that she sucks this lip in. I'm sorry for that showing up there. She sucks this lip in as she swallows. So that has to be an infantile swallow pattern where they suck. You'll see they activate the lip muscle. In a regular swallow pattern adult, you don't even see the lips move at all. They just come together. But here she's pulling the lip in underneath there. You've all seen people swallow like that and suck their bottom lip in underneath. Well, that's a kind of an infantile swallow pattern. It gets the lip under here and pushes out on these teeth and pushes in on these teeth also. And so we're going to try to break this habit of doing that, but you need to get their airway open. It's fairly open. We've got a fair amount of airway here, and it's pretty good. So you wonder the combination of several things here that's kicking this off. It's not the regular breathing through the mouth problem that we see, but let's go on and look into it a little further now, see what we have to do to correct this problem. And one of them is to correct the tongue thrust, And that's what we're going to try to do. Now, when these baby teeth, she's lost, see, the cuspid deciduous tooth. The cuspid is up here, and to get the laterals in, the cuspid tooth is gone, see. Then this cuspid right here is coming down in like this, and the deciduous cuspid is gone. And this lateral is taking up the space of it. It is going way back like that. It looks like she's got a lot of space up there, but then you've got these 3 teeth. You're going to have to put in this space from here to where those teeth come together. So you're going to have to move all this over, you see, to get room in there. Now, you're still going to be crowded up here with it getting the cuspids in, and so you can take these teeth, put reverse tip in them as you expand it and try to move the roots in this direction a little bit and open this gap for these cuspids to come through without banging into these teeth so much. And that is a little ticklish to do. You have to learn how to put this tip into arch wires to do that. So I hope that I can show you that, so it'll make it easier for you to do. Okay, let me go on a little further here. Now here we've gone in to start doing something on this case. Now she's 8 and 2. And if you don't get in there and do something pretty quick, you certainly don't want to sit around and wait till she's 12 or 14 years old to start something here. This is ridiculous. You need to get on it early. So we're getting on this when she's just a little over 8 years old. Now, either the person doing the work on the child learns some orthodontics, or you got to have an orthodontist standing over your shoulder. If you could hire one to come there and do the orthodontics right at the time it needs it. Don't sit around and wait till they're 12 or 14 and say, oh, well, we'll correct all this, but you can't correct sometimes the excess height of the vertical face. You just won't get it corrected, and it messes the case up. So to do proper preventive and interceptive orthodontics, you've got to do it along the way as they grow up. Now you either have to have an orthodontist in the clinic where you're working, or the person doing the work has to know some orthodontics and know how to do these several procedures that we do on children. And I just think it is ridiculous for the deciduous, for the people doing the work on the children, the not know orthodontics, so they can do it immediately when they need it being done. So these pediatric dentists that are opposed to going in there and doing that, I do not understand that. I don't understand why the orthodontists don't want them to go ahead or go hire an orthodontist to work in the office with you. You either got to have them in there, or you have to learn how to do it yourself if you're going to work on kids and do it right. So that's my opinion. Shut up on that and let's get on with this case. But I can't help but get upset when I think about pediatric dentists not doing this and sitting around and letting somebody tell them to wait till you're 14 or 12 to do this. Okay, here we put the finger, these tips back in here to stop the tongue thrust, and it'll do that, but you want to make darn sure you've got enough airway to breathe through that. There's something in this Panorex that's creating this mess, because you don't see that at all. She's got something in her mouth or something in there when you took this Panorex. That's not problem with the bone structure at that point. Now, okay, let me go on. We put these tongue thrust appliances in there to stop that, and so that we can bring those lower anterior teeth out into that gap. Let's see now. It's out there some of the way, and we've got some reverse tip in these teeth, pushing these roots over, and you need to really put reverse tip in the centrals too. And the way you do that, you've got an arch wire coming across here, and say that's between the centrals right here. Then right over here you would come up. Sorry for this deal, haven't got that fixed yet. In other words, we'd have a deal coming across here, and you come up and down, and then up and down with the arch wire. You go up and down, and those four anterior teeth, and it'll bring the roots of them in like that. Okay, now that bunches the roots up on these four teeth right across here, and then that opens up a gap for the cuspids. You can stick it down in here, and then as you expand this, it'll push the roots back and line the tooth, and it'll bring the big crown down, and then the root of the tooth will be up in there further. So anyway, let's go through and show this, how this works out. Alright, now we've made room for those teeth. You see we've got a straight wire in there now at this point. Alright, now there's plenty of room for the cuspids to come down and line up in there. And we've got room for this first bite. We'll take this second deciduous molar out, and there'll be plenty of room for that too. And down here on the bottom we've got some of the same stuff, and we're going to level that out, and you look at where those teeth are and what we're doing. Let me see. Now we've still got those fingers in there. We're just taking those off. This child is 10 years old and 7 months. I forgot to mention this later on. There's kind of 3 types of cases you get. You need some 2-phase cases where you go in and do 1 or 2 or 3 different things early, and then get out and leave them in a retainer for a while, and then when their permanent teeth get just about in and ready to go, you come in and do the final phase. That's 2-phase cases. Then there are cases that you've got 3 or 4 things that you can't finish one until another one comes up, and then another one, and another one. So you have a long acting case. I mean, it's going to last for several years in here, and you can't speed it up because it's not dependent on how fast your work is or what you're doing, but you've got to wait for teeth to erupt or come in the mouth and let you work on them. So some of these cases will take you 3 and 4 and even 5 years to do, because you have to wait on the development of the mouth, and you can't find a good place to come in there and stop and sit on it for a year or so and then come back and finish it. And you need to be there on these long acting cases. So instead of saying there's just 2 types, you got just a regular orthodontic case, and here you've got a 2-phase case, and then you've got a long lasting case. It may start out when they're quite young, and you might see that person and do their orthodontic procedures. And some of these cases I've had them go for 8 or 10 years, and it wasn't because I wasn't working fast on the cases, is that the case just wasn't developing this. Now, people do not get out of orthodontic school with much practice in that type of case, unless they somebody takes it up here, this student works on it, and then this student works on it, and then this student works on it, and none of the 3 students see the whole blooming case go on. So you do in your office, you see them, and you're going to be with them for years. And so that's the difference in doing this. And there's no easy, dead cinch way to do orthodontics and think you won't have to do some work or some thinking of what you're up to and how you're going to do it. Now let's go ahead and I'll show you. We still got those tongue thrust fingers on there. Now we're pretty well down the line. This young lady's 12 years old in a month, and she's got her wisdom teeth down here. And if I've ever seen one that didn't have any room, that looks pretty much like one right there. So you get these teeth out. You know, if you don't get them out and this grows very much, it's going to mess up the whole thing. And a lot of people think the wisdom teeth don't have enough effect, but my son, it has affected his teeth. He got them out on one side and didn't on the other, and the side they didn't take them out, they messed up the orthodontics. It was perfect beforehand. So wisdom teeth definitely can come in and push teeth out of position in here. So if somebody tells you different, I'd like to argue with them over that and show them some pretty good evidence that they do have effect on the whole dental arch. I don't care who you are or not. And there, that's to me is a fact. I don't have any double-blind study to just the practice of years of watching them, and I've seen it too many times. Now let's go on with another one here, and that's the last Parex I think I took, but I've still got a intruding wire in the mouth. You see it back here. This wire's down here. We raise it up. We're pushing these down. It pushes this up back here, but the occlusion keeps it in good shape, and so this is lined up good. I'm going to show you these teeth, and I'll show you the beginning models and how it went across. Let me go back here and erase that, or it'll be stuck on there forever. Alright, there's the intruding arch, and there's this spring. If you don't know how to bend that spring, learn how. That's an important spring to put in. So many ways that you use that in orthodontics. Alright, on this side you see the spring, the same thing, and it'll level any bite out you want. Alright, now the upper's lined up good now, and the lower's lined up, and we've got the second molars are in, and we put them into the deal. We use a band on the 6-year molar because it's got 2 attachments on the outside and 1 on the inside there, and I like to put a band on there. Now here is the model back in 87, and I think, let me see, alright, that's in 87 the model, and there it is in 91. So we have been working on this case right here, pretty well indicates it's about 4 years, you see. It's not that you weren't doing fast work or something, but you can't sit around and wait till they're grown to correct this problem here. You have to go in early to do it. And here's deciduous molars. You can't finish it until you get those things out, you see. And the permanent teeth are coming in. So you're kind of hamstring strong here, and you can't just jump through the case and somebody comes up and it just burns me up when I would have some patient, and then the neighbor next door said, oh, well, I had my daughter's teeth straightened, and it only took them 18 months, and you've been over there 3 or 4 years doing this. What's wrong with that guy? They don't know anything about orthodontics. You cannot straighten the teeth up very much without the teeth being there. So don't worry about that. But that's one problem that we get. Alright, here, now that's the buccal, the right side of the mouth, and there it was in the models. And here, if we look at it from the front, and the midline's off, it's all screwed up looking. And we'll go in here, and there we've got that pretty well taken care of, and it looks good. This side here, it's a little class 2-ish, not bad, but it's got a swallow problem, so it's bending these teeth back, pushing those teeth out with the lip force when she swallows wrong, and we hope that we've got her breathing correctly, and that's always a problem. So let's look at the case after we get through with this part. And it's lined up in a good class 1 with a good overjet, overbite, and she can bite her front teeth together and the back teeth don't touch. That's another test I would go put the kid through, see if you could bite something off of your front teeth. Your back teeth would never touch. And that's an essential thing. Alright, let me go back here. I forgot to erase that. Alright, here the model when we started. There's the model. And we've got the 12-year molars in and everything. And this looks good. And there's the model on the bottom. And the tongue of the lip was pushing these teeth back. Absolutely no room here. And now we've brought these teeth out here somewhere. And it is an overjet and overbite. I mean, they have look like about 10 millimeters of 8 or 9 or 10 millimeters of gap between the upper and lower teeth. Okay, now we'll look at what that is. Now there it is after we finished with it and get it done, but it took several years to do it. Here's the young lady's facial structure. When we started, you saw her starting case. She was definitely caved in, and now she looks pretty good, but she's still got a flat facial profile there, but it's looking nice. And here it is again. It's a flat facial profile. You cannot take out teeth on somebody like this. If you know what you're doing, you don't take any teeth out like this. And looking at it from the front, looks perfectly fine. The height and everything in here. And when she smiles, you just see all the teeth, but there's almost no gum structures showing in there. A real beautiful smile. I see teeth back in here. So we have a good, broad smile. And I'd like to see that where you see teeth all the way, not a dark triangle back at the back. Here it is in 1993. That's after we gone down a little further. She's not brushing them like I would like for her to, but things look good. And there it is in 93 again. And this is 93. And it's socked in good. And the teeth look good. It's got some fillings in there. And there's a 3-to-3 retainer on the bottom. And this is a retainer up above that we put a bite plate. The lower anteriors bite into that. And if she wears that, they will not deepen. And that will take care of this case. If she stays with that thing, she can have a beautiful set of teeth when she's 30 and 40 and 50 and 60. And that's the end of that. I'm going to go back to that part, and I hope you take this and enjoy what we're doing. We would like to have you on our in our group and in our whole thing. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to say good night, and we'll close it out here.